So the common problems you get with sublimation is either people not understanding the technology or people who simply don't know how to apply it and where to apply it for. So we've got different scenarios. Here's a typical example. You'll see there's a very nice glossy print on this. Sublimation is really good for that. And it's specifically the photos. The vector art not as much that you see over there, but the photographs really is crispy. So people do think they can achieve the same thing with a laser printer. However, you can see the pixelation on that. That's the downside of doing a coffee mug with a laser printer instead of sublimation. So it really doesn't give you the same effect and quality. Another common mistake people do is, for example, on coffee mugs again. So everybody wants a full color printed mug from top to bottom and it just looks brilliant. However, the mistake they make is they try and go all the way to the edge, or in this instance as well, there's some fading over here and the top and the bottom is likely to fade. I'll show you another example that shows that better. Tip is always stay away a centimeter from the handle. Always try and stay away a centimeter from the top or the bottom, unless you are going to use a 3D press or if you're going to bake it in the oven with clamps, because your standard mug presses cannot go all the way around to the edges of this item. If you take this mug over here, and I have, let's say this is not a perfect design, so that gives me enough to stay away from the bottom and the top, so you won't have bleeding or you won't have any image that's going to be fading here. The bottom of the mug is slightly thicker than the rest. So you can think for yourself, so as it goes to the bottom, it needs to heat the bottom as well. So if you don't press it long enough or hot enough, this section here will be faded. And many mugs have a curved edge. So if you go too close to the edge, you will again have fading. Now, if you look at the press, when we insert the mug into the mug press over here, you'll see there's a gap here on both sides. Your press cannot press up to the handle, and that's why people need to try and stay away from those edges. Typically on the mug I showed you earlier, when I put that in there and I press it, you will see the edge is on the inside of the element there, so it's not good. Always try and stay away from that edge. Okay, so this is a common mistake people do when they start out of sublimation. When you sublimate the item needs to heat up. And your sublimation process really only starts from 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. Now, if your press is heated to that temperature, it doesn't mean your substrate's immediately on that temperature. So it needs to be in the press for a certain amount of time for the substrate to reach the right temperature. So in this case, you can see the entire print is faded. It looks terrible. And this is simply because it was not pressed long enough. The typical time most people would use for a mug to be pressed is 190 degrees Celsius. Give and take 4 to 4.5 minutes. Depends on the coatings that's on your mugs. You get dishwasher safe coatings that's done by Orca. The Orca coatings itself are the best, but they need to be pressed longer than your normal coatings. If you go to glass items, you have another problem. So these glass beer mugs, they're really nice to press and they work well, they look pretty, but glass is not a good conductor of heat. So when I place this item into my mug press, some of it's not going to be in the mug press, which means it's not going to heat evenly with the rest of the mug. So when you do glass items, and this can be from a glass cutting board, a clock, frosted beer mugs, preheat the item. You can put it in a household oven, whatever, as long as it's hot to the touch, but you can still handle it. You stick your paper around. Once you've pressed or stuck your paper around it, you put it in the press and then you press it. If you don't do that, especially in winter times where there's colder weather, especially the inland areas where it's really cold in winter, when you put this into your mug press without heating it, it will simply shatter into pieces.
When sublimating a mug, you need sublimation printer, okay, using sublimation inks and a special sublimation paper which you mirror the image when you print on it, okay, with a special coated mug. Okay, this is not just any ordinary mug, it's got a coating on it. Okay, so you cut it according to the templates that we provide you with. Okay, or you can take a ruler and measure and do your own templates. And you cover all around like that. Then you will need a heat tape. It's a heat resistant tape, it's not just any ordinary tape. It doesn't melt when it's heat up. Then you put one on the side and another one on the other side. Okay. To sublimate the mark, you sublimate for 4 minutes at 190 degrees. If you are using a Fahrenheit machine, it will be 340 Fahrenheit. And once you're done for 4 minutes, 240 seconds, take it out, check first whether everything is, here in the corner, check whether everything is being transferred properly. And if not, you can take a heat tape again, cover. You don't want to do mistakes, okay? This will help you, especially if you are a first timer, okay, on this job. Then take it back. Probably maybe your pressure was not tight. Make sure that your pressure is tight. And then once it's done, after that 30 seconds for fixing it, you dunk it inside lukewarm water. Right time, right temperature. More temperature, more time. Less temperature, less time. So you go for 4 minutes at 190 degrees. More than that, this is what you will get. It will bleed. Less than that, you won't get proper results.